and welcome to another Fresh Off the Stalls. It's my fourth video today, so please forgive me if I'm a little tired. I've taken the tie off. I want to look slightly different. I do have, it looks like I don't have the one set of clothes. But, well, it's one set of clothes I wear all day. I mean, that's reasonable, right? Anyway, so, before my mind completely conks out, let's get to it. So, my second show today that I've been to see is Fred and Madge by Joe Orton. So, this is a really interesting one. This is the first professional production in the world of Joe Orton's Lost play. Now, I'll explain the bunny ears around Lost. It's actually his very first play. The estate found and published it in 2001 because it was something they just found between his papers. Not a euphemism. Well, let's hope not. He's been dead for some time now. And although it was published in 2001, it's taken another 13 years for them to actually authorise a production of it. So 13 years after the play was first published, and 55 years after it was first written, Roughhead Pointer bring it to the stage, finally, at the Hope Theatre in Islington. Now, this is really, really interesting because I would never have thought of Joe Orton as an absurdist writer. And that's what this is. This is really an absurdist piece. I described it in my tweet earlier as a piece of scattershot absurdist satire. There's so many things Orton's trying to send up here. People who have stuckist attitudes towards architecture, the BBC, generally the general malaise of existence. That's just three things. I can name quickly off the top of my head. There's so many other things that he's just sending up left, right, and centre. It's a bit all over the place. Quite fun, like most absurdism. Probably not the best piece of absurdism I've ever seen, but certainly a good laugh. It's a completely different kettle of fish, complete with an actual kettle of fish, not actual fish, because that would smell. So it's still quite satisfying, though. It's still quite a fun thing to watch. But it isn't Orton as what we've come to know. This isn't the Orton we know from, at least I don't think so. It's not the Orton we know from Loot or What the Butler Saw or, what is it? Entertaining Mr. Slow. How could I forget that? I highly recommend you guys watching the interview I did earlier with Mary Franklin, who is the director of the play. She says things like this is a patchwork of ideas that really sets out what Orton then went on to become. And I can totally see that. There are elements of Orton-esque as we come to know it, but it's really is something quite different. But then again, we need to bear in mind that this is the very first thing he wrote. So it's very it's young. It's a young piece of Orton, and I can absolutely see that there. So we've got the play. It's an absurdist piece, which we're not expecting. Not great. I'm going to say that. However, it's really interesting to see where his ideas and where his style formed. But what I would say about going to see this is that the production really, really makes the show. So Roughhead Pointer have recently been making waves with such productions like Diary of a Nobody, and you'll certainly notice some familiar faces from that here as well. What I love is that they attack this with an incredible amount of energy and imagination, which is absolutely perfect for putting on an absurdist piece like this. Just little nuances, little things they've really thought about and really gone with. One thing in particular, just because it comes to the forefront of my mind, because he was in the interview I did earlier, is Jordan Mallory Skinner's sound design. It's not really necessary in the sense that it hasn't been specifically asked for. At least I don't think it has. I haven't got the play text in front of me. But it's just little things like when Fred is pushing the ball up a hill, Jordan gets out a pestle and mortar and grinds it down the microphone, which is a really nice sound effect, and it really colours the play and really adds something. And then there's a lot of live and interactive sound design as well, lots of live music. And it sort of really brings things to the fore. It really sort of adds to that sort of sense of anarchy. Anarchism, that is the right word. Anarchism. Anarchy. Let's just go with anarchy for now, whilst my brain is still functioning. And so adds that, and then things just like I love the set. It feels almost like a sort of ramshackle street theatre thing. Again, so it has that sense of sort of craziness going on. Some great lighting. They really understand the piece. So director Mary Franklin, producers Rachel Illingsworth, and I forgot the name of the other one, Adam Spreadbury Mayer. They really understand, and they've gone for it. They've got some great ideas, and they've gone for it, and they've made sure that they work, and they do. But what I really love about it as well is the cast. They've got some brilliant comic timing behind them. They're such a joy to watch. And I got to say, Loz Keystone, you look very attractive as a woman. You might have turned me straight. Might have. Not sure. No. Call me. They're really great with the comic timing. And whilst I know in a lot of my reviews, I say that the cast bounce energy off each other. And I'm not going to say that here because they go beyond bouncing energy. There's almost a sense of, and I say fraternalism in the sense that, they all sort of support each other. They all sort of come together. They all understand what they're doing, and they're all empathetic and complementary to each other's role. It's an incredible ensemble that they have as a company here, and I don't say fraternity just because everyone on stage is male bar Jodie and Richardson, who is rather wonderful as Madge. You get the sense that everyone is behind this production 100%, from the ideas people, so Mary Franklin, Rachel Illingsworth, Adam Spreadbury Mayer, to the actors. And they really put a lot of force. I described it as a sense of pristine creative energy and imagination. That's what it really is here. Sorry, something came up on my phone. It's off. It's gone. I hope this isn't really... It's late in the night. I'm quite tired, and I've just come back from a few days ill. So I think I'm going to stop there, because otherwise I think I'm just going to descend into a babble, which is just going to embarrass myself even more than I already have. So in short, this is a Joe Orton in the fact that it has Joe Orton's name in it, but I would say that it's not anything but Joe Orton, but it's not what we've become to know as Joe Orton. So it's a really, really interesting peek into his history and to the foundations of his work. Did I already say that? I'm not sure now. But supported by an amazing production company. I absolutely can't wait to see what Rough Ed Pointer are going to do next, because if it's anything as good as this, it's going to be outstanding, and is really, really going to mark them out as one of the most formidable fringe companies at the moment. So, yeah. Interesting play, not the best piece of absurdism I've seen, but still a good laugh, still quite satisfying, but a brilliant production and a brilliant cast, which absolutely make this. So go and see it. Even if you come away with a bit thinking that wasn't what you were expecting, go see it. And keep an open mind, as you really should with all absurdism. I love the bit at the end, the sort of epilogue where they go on about it being a dream piece and how some people are really resistant to it. Just go. I'm going to go now. I'm going to go have a lie down and a sleep. And then once I've actually got myself gathered together again, going to write a review, which do read afterwards, just to see, so you can probably get something a bit more coherent, I'm going to say. So thank you for bearing with me. Do look up the interview I did with Mary and Jordan earlier, and I think our heads just going around in circles. Doesn't help that I'm tired and I've just come away from a piece like this. So Good night, and I shall see you guys soon. Bye.